So let's play more Chaos Head, guys. Game Chaos Head Noah. This is gonna be a pain to ask to like crop out. Unless I make it like the one time I played Minecraft before playing Chaos Head, and then like it just had like 30 minutes of Minecraft gameplay in front of the episode. I had almost finished Pajama Sam to your resume. You know what? We can make it another evil spin the wheel. My punishment wheel for whenever I deserve to get punished. Okay, wait. Let me put it in my secret thing. Right now we have finished the Piglet game, Trauma Center challenge levels, FNAF 6 Night, Pikmin 2 100%. We can add finish Pajama Sam. What the? I was not typing. What? Hey, get back over here. Oh. You can basically say you finished it, to be honest. No, I didn't. I didn't put the evil guy in my lunchbox yet. Pajama Sam. We'll put Pajama Sam 100% on the punishment wheel. Okay. Oh boy, I can't wait to play some real games. Oy. Oy, 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 oy. Okay. Wow, guys, I'm so excited. Is this game loud? I mean, it's probably louder than Pajama Sam was, but that was because I couldn't be bothered. If you guys were not here last time, our cute Emoto, she got her hand lopped off, and it got sent to us in a box. And then Shogun, said we have to come meet him on the roof if he wants to save his little sister. And so Takumi went to the rooftop to try to save Nanami. And then, he was trying to manifest his D-sword because Shogun told him he had to do that. And then he chickened the last second, and left. So, I think Nanami's dead. He wanted to fap too much, it's true. He ditched Nanami to go fap to, what's her name? Seiraton. Legitness. Also, I need to pee. So, we'll start after I refresh on my water, okay? Yippee!
What's the reason why you always fed it? Yeah, I'm kinda fed up, but I know you never gonna stop assessing. Overproof smelling, I'm trying to keep it daddy. Man, fuck every hater trying to see me take a fall. All I ever do is ball. When you see me at a drop, I'll be getting to the guap, reminiscing all the time that I used to go broke. Now I'm moving like a boss. I ain't never going down to the floor. I'm the goat on the throne. I'm the king. Everybody knows I'm lit. Like Murderberry, I'm the shit. Brown and green, I'm the shit. I'm the shit. I'm the shit. Tell me what's the reason why you always fed it? Yeah, I'm kinda fed up, but I know you never gonna stop assessing. Overproof smelling, I'm trying to keep it daddy. Man, fuck every hater trying to see me take a fall. All I ever do is ball. When you see me at a drop, I'll be getting to the guap, reminiscing all the time that I used to go broke. Now I'm moving like a boss. I ain't never going down to the floor. I'm the goat on the throne. I'm the king. Everybody knows I'm lit. Like Murderberry, I'm the shit. Brown and green, I'm the shit. I'm the shit. I'm the shit. Tell me what's the reason why you always fetting. Yeah, I'm kinda fed up, but I know you never gonna stop assessing. Overproof smelling, I'm trying to keep it daddy. Man, I'm off every hater trying to see me take a fall. All I ever do is ball. When you see me at a drop, I'll be getting to the guap, reminiscing all the time that I used to go broke. Now I'm moving like a boss. I ain't never going down to the floor. I'm the gold on the throne. I'm the king. Everybody knows I'm lit like Murderberry. I'm the shit. Brown on green. I'm the shit. I'm the shit. I'm the shit. Murderberry. Tell me what's the reason why you always fetting. Yeah, I'm kinda fed up, but I know you never gonna stop assessing. Overproof smelling, I'm trying to keep it daddy. Man, I'm off every hater trying to see me take a fall. All I ever do is ball. When you see me at a drop, I'll be getting to the guap, reminiscing all the time that I used to go broke. Now I'm moving like a boss. I ain't never going down to the floor. I'm the gold on the throne. I'm the king. Everybody knows I'm lit like Murderberry. I'm the shit. Brown on green. I'm the shit. I'm the shit. I'm the shit. Tell me what's the reason why you always fetting. Yeah, I'm kinda fed up, but I know you never gonna stop assessing. Overproof smelling, I'm trying to keep it daddy. Man, I'm off every hater trying to see me take a fall. All I ever do is ball. When you see me at a drop, I'll be getting to the guap, reminiscing all the time that I used to go broke. Now I'm moving like a boss. I ain't never going down to the floor. I'm the gold on the throne. I'm the king. Everybody knows I'm lit like Murderberry. I'm the shit. Brown on green. I'm the shit. I'm the shit. I'm the shit.
Oh, I didn't turn on my mic. Hey guys. Also, hello Zeph. Yes, head 2 days in a row. Oh. Yeah. Wow, I'm so excited. Also, thanks for the welcome backs. Yeah, he did keep crying about going home and fapping. That's what happened last time, if you weren't there. Also, we're just starting. Earlier we played Pajama Sam, but it crashed on me, so we aborted. I'll catch up on the VODs. Good night. Good night, table. Sweet dreams. Welcome back, Takumi. How's your sister? I don't know. You're reading so much, Chaos said I can't catch up. Well, that's not my problem, Orm. He's gotta read faster. Or give up. And just watch me play it instead. Despite midnight quickly approaching, the ticket gates of the subway's Hanzomon line were still filled to the brim with people. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. The earthquake had violently disrupted the public transportation schedules, and no one was even attempting to hide their frustration as they passed through the ticket gates. Employing a sidelong glance, Ban Yasuji inspected the monitor resting in the station attendant booth. The station staff had received a call yesterday during their morning operations. The caller had reported that a high school girl wielding a gigantic bladed weapon was going on a rampage in the area. The police had been dispatched in response to this, but upon arriving at the scene, they found no trace of a girl nor the man who had supposedly been attacked. Also, Ultra Chicken Fire and Light Rebo, thanks for following. That's Oomph is probably Senna, I think. Ban, who had happened to overhear the story earlier today, was very interested in the appearance of the male victim. The fact that there had been several similar incidents had also caught his attention. This is why Ban was making an appearance here at such an hour. Hello. According to his sources, the incident had been captured in full on one of the surveillance cameras. When Ban asked the station attendant to show him the video, they willingly agreed, but warned the detective that the video was a little creepy. Duly noting this, Ban elected to have them show him the video. The video was full of static. Maybe it's from the earthquake, Bond thought to himself. There had been various reports about the earthquake causing citizens to lose hard disk data, leaving Bond to wonder whether it was related. It would be difficult to identify anyone in the recording as they were just barely visible. So hi Mecha, did I save you some chips? No, I don't even got chips for myself. It's all gone. Also another fire BGM. The recording featured a single man. He was standing by the wall in the far right hand corner of the screen. The wall was located slightly far from the ticket gates, meaning passengers would not travel past it very often as they were changing trains. Incidentally, a few other passengers had just crossed in front of the camera. The man's appearance was hard to make out due to the fierce static, but he was fairly short and thin, and he was carrying a large rucksack. Hey, did you know that moto means weed in Spanish? Puffy, I've heard this before. And I also hate weed! But it's okay. I just think it sounds cute, okay? It can be that energy of people being like, if there was no context behind diarrhea, it would sound like a cute name. Really? Yeah, I've heard it like, maybe like 4 times. And then there's also one old viewer that would keep bringing it up. And I'd be like, shut the fuck up! Dogs like weed? I feel like they're bad for animals. But the guy doesn't, like, he barely shows up anymore, so it's okay. It's chill. Lol. After about an hour or so had passed in the video, a small change occurred. A few people commuting to work were walking in the direction of the man, and then they swiftly stopped. To Bond, it looked as if they had been drawn to the man with a rucksack. What was truly strange, however, was that they did not even speak to him. They simply stood there in a daze. The people who had stopped did not seem to be acquaintances of the man. They were of different ages, sexes, statures. There was absolutely nothing they all shared. What in blazes is going on? Staring at the monitor, Bond tilted his head to the side, and as he did so, a lone girl entered the frame. She had long hair, and she was wearing a uniform from Suimei Academy. The girl headed straight for the man with the rucksack in a manner that could only be described as exuding nothing but pure, unadulterated confidence. Her movements were entirely unlike those who had stopped before. Instead of halting, the girl pushed aside the people gathered there and seized the man by his collar. Also, it's okay. Moco means booger in Spanish, and when Fua Moco debuted, it's all I could think about. Fua booger. I feel like booger is kind of cute. And inoffensive. It's just a booger dog. For a short period of time, the two of them argued about something. Rather than an argument, however, it was far closer to the girl simply screaming at the man without giving him room for air, or at least that's how it appeared. Also, Sir Random Lemon, hello! Oh. Fuawa and her sister Booker. No. I forgot, Fuawa is the older one, right? It fits if, the booger one is the younger sibling. I used to say puddles instead of poodles as a kid. Okay, well that's cute though. The little puddles. Honestly, I think just puddle is a very cute word. The booger one, wow, let her live. Is Mokoko younger? I feel like it. Not to be like the person with like, I feel like it's a trope to make the older sibling have the big bazongers. Yeah. Unless they're doing like a trope reversal. Even though they're like twins, so it's like barely have an age difference. F1 were the older one, I think. Yeah. A few of the people who had stopped seemed to return to their senses and promptly left the scene. Eventually, the girl thrust the man away from her. The girl took a step back from the man who had fallen on his rear, then assumed a strange pose. She lowered her hips and brought both fists next to her ears. The girl looked as if she was holding something, but there was nothing in her hands. According to the report, the girl had been wielding a large blade, but where on earth could she be hiding such a thing? The answer to that soon became apparent. Suddenly the screen, the camera shook. It was not static. The rustling hair and clothes of the passerby made it clear. The surveillance camera itself was shaking. What the? Bond gawked at the screen. He had no idea where she had retrieved it from, but the next thing he knew, the girl was holding a gigantic sword in her hand, one that was longer than she was tall. Bond asked for the tape to be rewound just so he can confirm what he had seen. But no matter what angle he examined it from, the sword appeared to have been conjured out of thin air. The girl had not moved a single muscle. She remained in her hunched position the entire time. That much was undeniable. What kind of magic is that? The people in the video went into a panic when faced with the sudden appearance of the sword, but the girl did not seem to care about the people around her. The man with the rucksack, however, was very clearly terrified. He tried desperately to scramble to his feet and run away, but the girl would not allow that. With incredibly agile movement, she pursued the fleeing man and swung her gigantic sword as if it was light as a feather. In a manner akin to a violent windstorm, the sword tore the man's rucksack to pieces. The impact was so strong, the man immediately collapsed to the ground. Despite this, he appeared uninjured. In fact, when the police officers had arrived on the scene immediately after receiving the call, they had not found even a single trace of blood. Who the hell is this girl? Okay. Then, as if the girl had heard Bond's murmuring something that should have been impossible considering it was a recording, she suddenly turned toward the camera. The screen ever so slightly distorted, and the girl's figure disappeared in an instant. It was as if she had never been there to begin with. The man's shredded rucksack had been left behind, and the remnants of it were proof that the girl had been there. Yeah, it's Aura. It was hard to tell because of the static, but it was clear that the girl had disappeared from the screen in less than a second. Bond rewound the tape again. There was nothing that seemed unnatural about the time displayed in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. In other words, the footage had not been edited. But if that were true, then how could Bond explain the girl and the sword? Bond, feeling as though he had seen a ghost, could do nothing more than remain completely and utterly puzzled. Oh boy, fat kid! Thank you for 4 months. When does this happen? Like 10 minutes ago. Hello. A world of complete and utter white. And I was lying right in the center of it all. It felt as if I were floating, but I didn't know whether or not I actually was. I couldn't figure out what direction I was facing, not up nor down, not left nor right. The silence was deafening. It was as if there were hundreds of insects buzzing around in my head at once. If someone were to tell me that this was the afterlife, I couldn't see myself contesting it. That was how monotonous, simplistic, tranquil, orderly, immaculate, empty, and peaceful the world was. Perhaps this is what the mind of Buddha was like upon reaching enlightenment. It was so incredibly different from my own mind. I wanted to stay here forever. The irritation that came with reality, the loneliness, the pain, the suffering, I didn't want to face anymore. Also, hello, Ninja. Have you tried turning the light off? What, is it too bright? My bad. He's in heaven right now. Or somebody is. As my thoughts began to cascade, I heard a noise burst into the white world that had been previously silent. The sound of a door being opened and the sound of someone's footsteps getting closer and closer.
来たよ。
Big Bro! I'm here!
よいしょ。
Jessie! Jessie!
お兄、今日
Hey! Big Bro! Okay, so today I decided to bring you something real nice!
はい。これ。
Alright! Here it is! I got your present!
手編みの帽子なんだよ。
It's a hairnet hat! It looks so nice and warm, doesn't it? Well, it is!
もう冬だしね。
Anyway, the story is used to know how much I like hats already, right? But this is winter and all. I really had a new one.
使ってね。
So go on, try it.
もう
On.
お兄。
Come on. They ignore me.
おー。
Ah, you still got some food left over, and it's curry too.
ちゃんと食べないとダメなんだよ。
You gotta make sure you eat up, alright? Also, thanks for the water. Nanami voice is that of an angel's. Yeah.
ねえ病院の
Can you take this seriously?
ご飯
Nuh-uh. Hey, so is it true that hypo food's not really
で
good?
も食べないとダメ。
Well, that's sad, but you still need to eat it.
起きろ。
Oh, come on, wake up, big bro. If you go to bed without eating, your stomach's gonna end up growling in the middle of the night. Someone's hand made its way under my back and forcibly shook my body awake. That was when I realized that my eyes had been closed. No! Not me! When I opened my eyes, a little girl was standing there. It was Nanami, my little sister, but she was awfully little. It was Nanami from a long time ago. But how long ago, I wondered. She must have been at least in elementary school.
あーして。
I can't say ah! The younger Nanami scooped up some curry with a plastic spoon, then offered it to me. And I slapped the hand holding the spoon. Oh! Even after all this time, I still didn't know what had been going through my head, but in that moment, I'd knocked away the tray of curry and rice with my hand and sent it crashing to this floor.
お兄、お行儀
Big
は
Bro!
お母さんに
Those are some real bad manners, you know! I can tell Mom! Nami crouched down to the floor and picked up the tray I had cast aside. She then retrieved a washcloth from the sink in the corner of the room and began cleaning up the mess I'd made.
世話が
You're a real troublemaker, you know!
ナナがいないと
I swear, you couldn't do anything a thing if I wasn't around, Big Bro! That's enough! I covered my face with my hands, then slowly closed my eyes.
ごめんね。あなたを守ってあげられなくて。
Is this Remy? I'm sorry. I couldn't protect you. Where we at? I slowly opened my eyes and saw a white ceiling. It was so bright it nearly blinded me. I blinked my eyes a few times. I tried to move my fingertips. I raised my hand in front of my face. The palm of my hand created a shadow. At last, I was free from the blinding glare. I'd been dreaming about Nanami. Ever since I could remember, she'd had an especially strong will. After the bus accident back in elementary school, I'd stopped talking to anyone and everyone. But even so, that part of Nanami only became stronger and stronger. Also, bye-bye, Gullible. Nighty-night. Takumi still a little bitch. It's true. Unlike my parents, who were simply overprotective and nothing else, she'd taken care of me all while remaining strict and firm. But that dream... Had I ever been hospitalized before? I'd gone in for checkups, sure, but... Well, it was just a dream, so there was no reason for me to take it... No real reason to take it, nor the contradictions seriously. I was lying on a bed. It's giving... psychiatric ward. Saya no Uta bad end. It was a white bed with a pipe frame. The sheets were white, the pillows were white, the linoleum floor was white, the wallpaper was white, the fluorescent lights on the ceiling were white, the curtains covering the windows were white. The small shelf next to the bed was white, the ceramic water pitcher was white, the paper cups were white. I was starting to get fed up with all the white. Mustering up my resolve, I attempted to sit up. For a split second, I felt a numbing pain jolt through the area around my waist, but it went away just as suddenly as it appeared. The room was fairly large, at least twice the size of my base, but what really bothered me was how incredibly dreary it was. Maybe it was a hospital room. There was a pair of green slippers lined up right beneath the bed. I was relieved to find a color other than white. My body was moving just fine. It didn't seem like I was dead either. I was thirsty. I wanted a cola. A nice cola. Carbonated cola. But there was no way I'd be able to find something like that in this pure white room, so I was forced to pour water directly from the pitcher into my mouth. It was a bit lukewarm, but it was enough to satisfy my thirst. Oh my god, it's the nurse lady. Why does she have, like, no light in her eyes? Or maybe it was always like that, and I'm just crazy. Upon finishing the water, I took a breath. The door then opened, and a nurse wearing white scrubs came into the room. That was enough for me to confirm that I wasn't in a hospital after all. Upon seeing me, her eyes grew slightly wide. She must have thought I would still be asleep.
Ara.
Have I used the X-ray on her yet? Wait, true. Yo, she has one, but she's just the nurse. Relax. Wait, let me... Is that a mole? Or is that dirt on my screen? No, it's a dirt on my screen! Wow, it's like... It's so Asian. No! It was like... What was it? It was like a little speck, okay? My screen's not that dirty. But it was like just a tiny dot that it could be mistaken for it, okay? Two-piece with glasses. I think I like hers a lot. It's nice. It's a nice color with her like kind of green hair. She got Doogie on her mother. No! Oh, she also has like a nice little green bangle. Wow. Okay, wait, I have to do some workarounds. Okay, there we go. Also, SN Snivine 444, thank you for following. Okay, wait, we need to be immersed in the story, okay? We can't always have costumes on. Her spit is not spit, okay? It's like dark. I see you woken up, Nishijo-san! Facing me, she gave me a gentle smile, the mark of a true nurse. But something told me I've seen this person before. Oh, I remembered her now. She was the grill who'd been at the hospital when I'd gone to see Dr. Takashina a while back. What had she said her name was? I couldn't remember, so I stole a glance at the name tag on her chest. Hazuki was written on it. Right, Hazuki-san. How are you feeling? Hazuki-san held out a thermometer to me so naturally I couldn't help but take it. I thought she was gonna say to stick in his butt. Can you please stick this under your arm for me? With how nicely she'd asked me, I had no choice but to comply. My head was overrun with question marks, but I put the thermometer inside my armpit nonetheless. Also, hello, Shin. I agree, no costumes, because I want to get immersed. It's true. She doesn't care about butt, she's pit focused. She got priorities. Immediately after I did so, a memory burst to life inside my head. I remembered what had happened. Back then, I'd given up on saving Nanami. I'd grabbed onto Shogun's wheelchair, but there had been no response. It collapsed in a heap, and when I looked at it again, all I'd been holding was a Darth Spider's helmet. Count Darth Spider, the very embodiment of evil in Spark Wars. His black-clad appearance was famous even in Japan. Oh, did I miss the scene with the package? You did. That was yesterday. I love Star Wars. But I would have never thought that Shogun would cosplay as him, so my anger had been overridden by raw confusion. Yeah, you're gonna have to watch the VOD. It was quite a long one, too. After that, I had stood up and looked at the wheelchair, but there had been no one on it. Only a black hood draped over the back of it. That was another part of Darth Spider's costume. I'd then examined my surroundings one more time, but there had been no one there. I'd been the only one on that pitch black rooftop. Oh. Suddenly, the press then came flooding in all at once. They had surrounded me with lights, cameras, and microphones. I'd had no room to breathe. There had been more than 10 of them total. I had been so overwhelmed by it all, my terror simply grew and grew. I wanted to run away, but I couldn't move a muscle. I've been a total mess. Nishigo, what happened to your clairvoyance? Does that mean that you don't know who the new Jet culprit is after all?
Could that Darth Spider helmet have something to do with your psychic powers? Nishido-san, will you please answer our questions? If you claim to have nothing more to say, you realize you'll have wasted a whole lot of time and money, right?
What was all this for? Was it a publicity stunt to take advantage of New Jet? Don't you find that to be completely inappropriate?
Have you spoken with Yuri Brightman recently? What do you two talk about?
Do you think there's a connection between the earthquake and New Gen? Well, be right assuming that the anime group figure you're holding in your hand is some kind of totem that you're using in a ritual. Did an anime or video game have any kind of influence on your behavior of yours?
Nishido-san!
Nishido-san! Nishido-kun. The light pointed at me had been incredibly hot. It felt as if my skin was being singed by the sun during the hottest part of the summer. Oops. The flood of people from the media made me feel lightheaded. My field of vision had been spinning around in circles. I'd been cornered. I'd been panicking. I'd been unable to breathe. I grasped my head. I can't see anything. I don't want to see anything. I can't hear anything. I don't want to hear anything. I can't feel anything. I don't want to feel anything. Stop! Leave me alone! At the very same moment I screamed like a computer that had short-circuited, my consciousness had severed. Oh. Oh my god. Why is he blushing? That was exactly what had happened. I lost consciousness, and then how had I ended up here in the hospital? I couldn't remember. At the very least, I didn't think I'd come on my own, so maybe I'd been brought to the hospital by an ambulance. Hazuki-san was writing something on the clipboard she was holding. She must have had a slip of paper clipped onto it. Was she writing about my condition? I checked what time it was via the simplistic watch around her wrist. It was a little after 6 a.m. I'd slept for a really long time. Oh. In here? Nurse-san. We've hardly yet to spend any time with her, so we have to go green. Regardless, why had I been brought here? If Hazuki-san was here, then that meant this was my normal hospital. It wasn't like me being brought to a general hospital was particularly weird, but something still didn't feel right. Why was Hazuki-san coming to check on me? That question really bothered me. I mean, Hazuki-san was a psychiatric nurse. If Hazuki-san was coming to check on me, didn't that mean that the room I was in was also used by psychiatric patients? Oh.
それにしても驚いた。
I must say, you really did give me a fright. Hazuki-san's eyes widened and she moved in to study my face closely.
まさか西條さんが目覚め
I didn't expect you to wake up, Nishijo-san. Huh? She made it sound as if she hadn't expected me to wake up. Was she disappointed? Was she trying to say that the world would be better off if a piece of garbage like me just stayed asleep for the rest of my life? When she said that to me, I really did start to wish I'd never woken up. But then Hazuki-san gave me an explanation that was far different than what I'd imagined.
あなたはこの1ヶ月近くずっと昏睡状態だったんですよ。
Whoa! You've been in a coma for nearly a month
原
now!
因不明のまま
The reason why this baby is still unclear to us. What the hell? A month? When had I?
今日って
No, he's not gonna graduate. He's missed too much school now. What's
落
today?
ち着いて聞いてくださいね。
Before I tell you, I want you to take a deep breath, okay?
今日は
Today is
10月28
October
日です。
28th. October 28th. That checked out, at least with what I'd remembered, which meant that it'd been a whole month since I'd witnessed the crucifixion. I was at a loss for words.
あ、そうだ。先生に伝えないといけません
No,
よ
no, I should really go inform the doctor. This isn't
こんなのんびり電話してる場合じゃなかったわ。
exactly the time to chat as I take your temperature.
ここで待っていてくださいね。すぐに先生を呼んできますか
Only
ら。
3 days until Halloween. He needs to find a costume. Don't worry, he already. I think he's fine. Please wait here. I'll be back with the doctor right away. Also, hello, Hypnos. After she finished rambling at me, Hazuki-san bolted out of the hospital room in a panic.
僕が1ヶ月昏睡状
An
態
entire month? I was in a coma for an entire month? I stared down at my palms, mumbling that to myself in a daze. That meant everything that had happened in the past month had all been a dream. I couldn't believe I got slammed with it was all a dream plot twist. But strangely enough, it didn't bother me. In fact, when she had told me it was all a dream, it made everything surprisingly easy to understand. Oh my god, he missed so many Bloodtoon episodes. Well, now he can binge them. There is no such thing as D-Source or turning delusions into reality or whatever else. All of it fell apart the second I actually thought about it. It had all been an illusion, a simple delusion I had created. I was pretty sad that meeting Remy had just been a dream too, but I wasn't being hunted by Shogun. I wasn't Japan's favorite punchline, and Nanami hadn't been kidnapped either. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. My vision blurred, but when I looked upward to hold back the tears, Hazuki-san entered the room and her eyes widened upon seeing me. Ah!
西条さん、目が
I
覚
see
めたん
you've
です
woken
ね。
up, Nishijo-san. A gentle smile accompanied her as she said that. My confusion rushing back, I froze. Oh my goodness. How are you feeling? Hazuki-san held out a thermometer to me so naturally I couldn't help but take
体
it.
温を測ってくださいね。
As I took the thermometer from her, I gulped. It's the same. The exact thing from before was repeating. It was as if Hazuki-san had just walked into the hospital room for the first time. I nervously reached for the thermometer in my underarm. I was sure I had put a thermometer in there just a minute ago, and yet there was nothing there. The thermometer had disappeared. Had it been just a delusion? When did the delusions end and reality start? Was me being hunted down by Shogun and becoming Japan's favorite punchline reality? My mood instantly took a turn for the worse.
昨日ご家族がお見えになっていたんですけど、
A family member of yours came to see you yesterday,
西
but
条さんの意識が戻らない
as
の
you
で、
didn't regain
日付が
consciousness
変
in
わる頃
time,
にお帰りになり
they
ました
left around midnight.
今日は診察時間が
Your
始ま
mother
る頃
informed
にお
us
母
that she will
様
be
が来るそう
arriving
ですよ。
around the time we open. I nodded in response, not having the energy to say anything back. Mom, I'm sorry for being such a disgrace. I'm an embarrassment to Japan. No, the entire world. The entire thing had been televised, meaning it had already spread to the entire country. I was sure my shameful behavior had been uploaded to YouTube as well. I had no idea why I'd been made into the amazing Esper boy. And it didn't make any sense to broadcast my every move. And on the day of a huge earthquake, no less, when I was nothing but a boring otaku freak, it wasn't normal. Because of that, I couldn't help but think that everyone from back then was being mind controlled by Shogun. But regardless of whether or not that was true, I'd still publicly humiliated myself. It wasn't something I'd escape after enduring a quick shitstorm online that'd be forgotten about in a week. Was this it for me? Would I no longer be able to live in peace? Suddenly, Nanami's face appeared in the back of my mind. I bit down on my lip and hugged my knees. Even if that was no longer attainable, as long as I could save Nanami, none of it would matter. Even if people from all over the world snickered at me and called me a pathetic loser for the rest of my life, it would make no difference to me. But I couldn't save her. I couldn't even do that much. No.
Nana.
Tears begin to fall from my eyes.
どうしました？
What's
どこか痛み
wrong?
ます？
Are you in pain? Shaking my head over and over, I kept on crying. Nanami was dead! Nanami was dead and she was never coming back! It was all my fault! All my fault! All my fault! All my fault! Because of how worthless I was, because of how much of a fucking loser I was, Nanami was dead! Back on the rooftop, I'd given up so easily on obtaining the D-Sword. I had Seraton's seductive voice in my ear, but that was just my pathetic self pretending to be someone else. I was the one who'd made the decision. He doesn't deserve to cry. Lol. I'd made myself look like a pitiful victim. I'd chosen to sacrifice Nanami so that I would survive. I hated myself. How fucking pathetic I was. If only I tried just a little bit harder. I told myself that I'd given up on my own volition, but now that it was all over, I regretted every single thing I'd done on that rooftop. I was absolutely disgusted with myself. She was gone. Nothing could save her now. And yet, even still, I couldn't help but think that if I could just go back to that rooftop and I just tried a little bit harder. But I knew that even if I actually could go back, I'd just give up all over again, finding some other excuse to get me out of it. That was just who I was. A completely useless, irredeemable piece of shit!
Nanami.
I'm sorry. Nanami. Hazuki-san rubbed my back in an attempt to comfort me. I was a useless sack of shit to the very end. I was even causing problems for nurses that had nothing to do with me. The tears refused to stop.
何か後悔していることがあるんですね。
If only this were a game and I could load my save. Yeah. Also, hi Muffin. Don't cry, goat. Maybe he should have tried harder then. There's something you regret, isn't
で
there?
もきっと
Well,
妹さんも
whatever it
許
is.
してくれますよ。
I'm sure your sister will forgive you. Huh? How did she know that Nanami was my sister? Even that aside, the formulaic consolation she was giving me was the last thing I needed right now. I'm sorry, Hazuki-san, but no one can understand how I feel. I hated myself. I was pathetic, did nothing but take advantage of everyone else, and only ever thought about myself. The world would be better off without me. Maybe I should just end it
昨
all.
日もしきりに西條さんのことを心配していましたよ。
She was very worried about you when she came in yesterday, Nishijo-san.
とても可愛らしい
You have the
妹さんで
cutest little
すね。
sister. Don't you agree? What was she talking about?
ナナミは
Nanami,
妹は
my little sister,
死にました。
is dead. She had been kidnapped by Shogun. Her hand had been cut off. Then she'd been imprisoned somewhere. And in the end, she died all alone and afraid. When I imagined it, it felt like my heart was being torn into a dozen of tiny pieces.
そうなんですか？
Oh my goodness, is she really?
ごめんなさい。勘違
Forgive
いして
me.
しまって。
I'm afraid I made a terrible mistake. All my life, I thought that Nanami was annoying, although we had been siblings for 16 years. Even though she'd call me a jerk more times than I could count, she was always worried about me. The reason why she'd always nagged at me so much was because she'd been trying to help me break free from my toxic lifestyle. Whenever she brought me food from our parents' house, she didn't just give it to me and leave. She'd always try to share it with me. Normally, if a girl her age had an otaku freak for a brother, they'd never associate with him. And while the things she'd said didn't make her the easiest person to be around, she'd still talk to me and she would listen too. Whenever I'd been at school, she never avoided me. No, she would actually approach me. No matter what, Nanami had always treated me, a vile otaku freak virgin, like her brother, like a human being. Her mere existence had helped me more than I ever knew, but realizing that did me no good now. It was too late.
だとしたら、鬼ってどういう意味なのかしら。
But if that's truly the case, what does she mean by big bro? Huh? I looked up, unable to properly comprehend what I just heard. As my eyes were blurry with tears, I couldn't see Hazuki-san's face properly. What did she just said?
眠ってる西条さんを、鬼と何度も呼んでいたから。
She called out to you again and again as you slept. Big bro, big bro. I would have never thought that she'd be anything other than your sibling. There was only one person who called me that.
それ、
Are you telling the truth? Bolting out of my bed, I pressed Hazuki-san for an answer.
はい。
I'm sorry, the truth about what?
ななみが
Nanami, my sister Nanami, was she here?
その、はっきりお名前を聞いたわ
I
けで
didn't
は。
hear the name properly, so I...
僕のこと
You said she called me Oni, right?
ええ。
Yeah, yes.
ななみは今
Where is it now? Where's Nanami?
ですから、昨日はお帰りになりましたけど、
She went home yesterday.
西条さんの
God, Takumi is such a Chad.
に
Is this the scene where you want to call him that? She lived together with your mother.
怪我とかしてませんでしたか
Injuries? Did she have any injuries?
はい。いえ、
No,
特に
nothing
は。
I could see.
元気だったって言って
So she was okay? Nanami was okay.
はい。あ
Yeah, yes.
いえ
Though I
か
should
どうかはわかり
clarify,
ま
I'm not
せんけ
sure
ど、
whether it was
昨日
Nanami-san,
いら
but
していた女の
the
子
girl who
は
visited
元気
yesterday
そう
was
でした
doing
よ。
just fine, yes? Nanami was alive. From everything Hazuki-san had said, it had to be true. I sat down on the bed, utterly dazed. But how? Shogun had said that he wouldn't give Nanami back to me until I completed his quest. Had he just released her out of pity? Or had Nanami escaped on her own? But then, how would that explain the hand that had been sent to me? According to Hazuki-san, Nanami hadn't even been injured. Did you ever consider that the hand I sent to your place was someone else's? What he'd said, it hadn't been a lie. He played me. I've been dancing right to his tune. Shogun had deceived me. No, that didn't matter right now.
そっか
I see. So that was it. It was all coming together. Nanami had never been kidnapped at all. Back when I'd been at O-Front, trying desperately to grab the D-sword, Nanami must have been relaxing back at home, reading manga, or going out to karaoke with her friends so she could show off her shitty singing voice, or doing whatever else she liked to do. I was crying, but I couldn't help but laugh. Somebody get this guy some napkins. Oh, he doesn't deserve tissues. He deserves the hard napkin.
西条さん。
Nishijo-san? He got me! Shogun got me!
騙された
Through and through.
なんという
What
壮大な
unbelievably epic fate. She was alive. Nanami was alive. I could see that bratty ass face of hers again. I could hear that obnoxious, shrill voice of hers again. The mere thought was enough to bring me a deep sense of relief and intense joy that rose from the bottom of my heart. Thank God. I couldn't stop crying, but the tears weren't the tears of regret I'd been crying earlier. Thank God. I was an utterly useless piece of shit, but I couldn't help it. The day before, I'd given up without being able to do anything. But even so, as long as Nanami was alive, I didn't wish for anything else. The whole world could mock me until the end of time for all I cared. I was overjoyed. Thank God she was safe. Okay. Yet another meeting had been called in the main conference room of the Shibuya Police Department, joining one of the multiple others that had been held that day. The exhausted, fed-up detectives wondered how many hours worth of unproductive meetings they would be forced to sit through. Matsunaga was about to start hearing the reports from each investigator when suddenly Bon hesitantly stood up and raised his hand. Mind if I say something? What is it? Inquisitive eyes and expressions landed on Bon, not just from Matsunaga, but from Suwa and the detectives sitting next to him as well. Bon smiled his usual flippant smile, quickly bowed his head, then looked around the room. I made a small discovery in the group dive video that was posted to the internet the other day. Huh? The surprise on Sua's face was evident. In all likelihood, he was surprised. After all, Bon had examined the video without saying a word to him. It was not because he had wanted to keep it a secret from him, however. No. Also, hello, Ashley Maverick. You're so underrated, Mota. What does this mean? Bon, Assistant Inspector Bon, you are in charge of the crucifixion case. Why are you investigating the group dive? This was the reason. Bon had disregarded the orders that he had been given by his boss, the head of the investigation team. If Bon had involved Suwa, a promising new detective, his partner would have inevitably been harshly rebuked by their boss. Bon wanted to avoid this. Well, about that, if you wouldn't mind, could I have you take a look at this? With a chuckle, Bon took out 2 enlarged photos from a file he held in his hand and attached them to the blackboard with magnets. Oh my god, they're missing the tower! These are both photos taken from the Cornelius Tower rooftop, the location where the group dive took place. The photo on the right was taken from the video posted on YouTube. The photo on the left is one I took last night when I went to the tower rooftop. Do you notice anything different between the two? The entire conference room began to stir. There's something different in the backdrop. Really? The camera is in the uploaded footage is pointing northeast. The 5 men and women did fall northeast, so it's not that. That's not the issue. Regardless, at 3 minutes and 29 seconds into the video, for about 15 seconds, the camera swings left and right in multiple very large motions. The picture on the right is one taken when the camera was facing to the east. Here we can see East Cornelius Tower, which faces toward Roppongi. 9/11 conspiracy theorist fan. Yeah, it never happened. They got the same picture. Did they fall because the tower poofed when they were on? Yeah, they didn't jump. The tower disappeared. Also, hello Tobes. Dang, this thing's still going, huh? What is that supposed to mean? Tokyo Tower is clearly visible in the nightscape. The red makes it stand out pretty well. But you see, there's one more thing that stands out. But this time, it's something that's not in the picture. Bond's eyes narrowed as he combed his beard with his fingers, and then a wry smile appeared on his lips. It's Roppongi Bills. It was true, the lights of Roppongi Bills could not be seen in the photo he had taken from the uploaded video. But in the photo Bond had taken the day prior, the lights of Roppongi Bills' many windows were very clearly visible along with Tokyo Tower. I happened to come across a few panels in the lobby of Cornelius Tower. Ones that were displaying a couple photos from back when the tower was first completed. This is one of those panels. Bond retrieved a new photo from the file and pinned it next to the previous two. It was also a picture of the Roppongi area taken from the rooftop of the tower, but it was not a picture taken at night, it was one taken at day. You can see Roppongi Bills right there. It's under construction, but my point still stands. The commotion in the conference room grew even louder. Matsunaga, meanwhile, remained silent as he stared at the photo with a stern expression. Cornelius Tower was completed in 2001. Roppongi Bills was completed in 2003. Oh my god, I was born in 2003. And the photo taken back when the tower was completed, Roppongi Bills was still under construction. And as such, it wasn't quite as tall yet. However, the year when the group dive happened was 2008. It wouldn't make a whole lot of sense if it wasn't there, don't you think? Roppongi Bills, that is. Oh, and another thing, there were no signs of the footage being tampered with in any way. Where are you going with all this? Having seemingly lost patience with the detective, Matsunaga urged him onward discontentedly. It's hard to say, but I do have one theory. Wait, sir, are you saying that the video was taken before 2003? That means it was taken more than 5 years ago. Dang it, Suwa! Bond's shoulders slumped dejectedly. The young detective's keen insight was brilliant. Suwa had said exactly what Bond had intended to say. However, having it said aloud in such a straightforward manner only made the claim appear all the more dubious. Bond's careful planning on how to articulate his points had been all for nothing. That's idiotic. I'm afraid someone's been reading too many detective stories. The faces of the 5 victims in the video were identical. There was no way the video was taken 5 years ago. If you got time to scour for such trivial clues, why don't you go do a couple witness interviews, Assistant Inspector? I'll just pretend I didn't hear that. On that note, I've got something to talk to you about, so see me after the meeting. After letting out a short sigh, Bond gave up and sat back down. Well, it's not like I expected him to believe me. Bitter and unwilling to accept defeat, Bond muttered that inside his head before returning to listlessly fanning his face with his handheld fan. See me after class? Yeah. Embarrassing. And yet, despite all the work he had done, if one were to ask what the absence of Roppongi Bills in the video signified, Bond would be unable to answer. Gulp. Okay, wait. Do a nice little regular save. Yes. After I found out that Nanami was alive, the doctor came to me and asked me a few simple questions. They wanted to make sure whether or not I was well enough to leave. I answered the questions to the best of my ability, then opted to leave the hospital before my mom came back. After that disgraceful behavior I'd shown in front of the entire country, how was I supposed to face my family now? And if Nanami were to come back, I knew I'd be so happy, I'd immediately burst into tears all over again. And then, since she wouldn't know why I was crying, Nanami would probably take it seriously and start yelling at me not to worry about her, probably while calling me an idiot too. When I thought about that, I nearly fainted from the sheer embarrassment, and so instead of letting that happen, I decided to employ a strategic retreat. A nurse brought me in the most disgusting breakfast of all time, and after chipping away at it slightly, I snuck out of the hospital room. I made my way down to the first floor and then into the lobby. The clinic hadn't opened yet, so the lobby that was usually packed with old people was completely deserted. I confidently walked toward the front entrance. Lucky for me, the automatic door opened, giving me free rein to exit the building. Oh my god, we got a little patient on the loose. The hospital staff might have gotten angry for me for leaving without asking them first, but I had to stay away from the hospital until everything calmed down. As for the medical fees, I left my mom a note telling her to go ahead and pay for it, so it should be fine. Okay. Despite the fact that I had stayed overnight at the hospital, I wasn't exhibiting any actual symptoms, and my mental state was doing much better after I'd learned Nanami was alive. Making sure to keep an eye out for any ambushes by Shogun or Yua, I quickly made my way back to my base. Wow, who turned the lights off? Phew, I made it back. My mental state had done a complete 180 since I've been at my base. Of course, I was feeling a lot better now. If only I could have let my past self know that. You let yourself get baited far too often, mate. I rate 8 out of 8. Mine. Or wait, what is that? Is that like an emoji? There's no reason for you to get so riled up, dude. Nanami's fine, lol. Times 100. Or something along those lines. Thinking back on it, yesterday really had been a living hell. Everything had just gone to shit. Ancient humor. Yeah, it's really a product of his time. I'd gotten a weird phone call in the morning, then there'd been an earthquake. Then the data on my hard drive had disappeared, then I'd had to witness ISA trying to offer herself right in front of me. Then I got an email from Shogun, then he sent me a severed goddamn hand. My mood plummeted in an instant. With a gulp, I turned my attention to the fridge. That's where the hand is. He put in the fridge? I think M9 is a pointing finger emoji. Oh, I kind of see it. Before I'd left yesterday, I decided in my maniacal state to just put the hand in the fridge for the time being. If I left it out somewhere, it would have started rotting. The smell of blood was also way too strong for me. There were all sorts of sci-fi anime and movies where, as long as they remained frozen, people could stay in a state of suspended animation for hundreds of years. Saving her for later? Yeah. That was pretty much what I was going for. I thought that if I could keep Nanami's arm fresh, she might be able to get it surgically reconnected once she was back home safe. But if that wasn't Nanami's hand, then who the hell did it belong to? And how would that explain the cell phone and the bangle? If I wasn't missing something, then it had to have belonged to Nanami. When I called her, it had rung on the cell phone held in the hand. Or maybe it was just all part of Shogun's trap. Was it even possible to make such a perfect replica of Nanami's arm? I'll just look one more time, just to make sure. In reality, I didn't want to. The entire thing grossed me out. Just thinking about it made me want to puke, even if it did belong to Nanami. But that didn't mean I could just keep it in my fridge or whatever, or forever. Not even my supply of cola stayed that cold in it. I considered asking the police to come take it, but then I realized they just suspect me of being the new gen culprit, even more than they already did, that is. It would practically be suicide to dial 110 and go, hello, yes, please come take this person's severed hand off my hands, thank you. What should I do? Should I just throw it away? But supposing it was Nanami's arm, it didn't really sound like a good idea to throw it away. Hell, are you even allowed to throw away human hands like that? Do they constitute as burnable or non-burnable trash? I tore out my hair. There's no point continuing to torture myself over it. I just go ahead and check one more time that the bangle was on her wrist and that she was holding her cell phone. Was it Nanami's or someone else's? That was the question I hoped to answer. I stood in front of the refrigerator and gripped the handle. I closed my eyes and then I took 1, then 2, then 3 deep breaths. Unsurprisingly, the temptation to call Remy and just ask her to do it for me crept up into my mind, but I quickly shook it away. No matter how good of an ally Remy was to me, there was no way she wouldn't freak out upon seeing someone's hand in my fridge. And then, if I managed to fuck up the explanation, she'd fall out of love with me and turn me into the police. I was gonna have to do this on my own somehow. Oh, fuck. I clenched my teeth, took 2 more deep breaths, and then I yanked on the handle with all my might. Yo, oranges! It was empty. Entirely empty. I thought for sure that I'd put the hand in there yesterday. It'd been wrapped up in aluminum foil. It should have been on the top shelf. And yet there was no sign of it. All that there was a few bottles of cola and a bunch of rotten clementines. Nothing else. It don't look that rotten. It's gone. How? Just like that, it was completely gone. I crouched down and looked farther into the refrigerator, but of course, it still wasn't there. There wasn't much to begin with, so it was already practically empty. There was no way I could have missed it. Dang, is he like putting... Oh no, they're filled. Like, they barely filled the top of the soda. I put it in here yesterday, didn't I? Maybe I just assumed that, and in reality, I just left it somewhere. I closed the fridge door, then looked around my trash-filled room. The cardboard box is gone too. The large cardboard box with his hand inside of it. Oh, what had I done with it? I feel like I tossed it into the corner of my room or something, but either way, my memory of last night was very unclear. More things had happened yesterday than my poor brain could handle, and everything was made all the more brutal due to the utter chaos of it. Calm down, just calm down. Now get your heads together. Think of why I might have disappeared. Oh, I feel like I'm gonna fall asleep, guys. My eyes are like closing as I read these. Oh, I think the tiki masala I had for dinner is like is putting me down. It's kicking in. Oh, I don't want anymore. I booted up the word processor on my PC and wrote down all the possibilities I could think of. Did that give you green piss too? No, it did not, okay. I had normal pee. We'll get to like a closing point. I'll lock in until then, okay? But I want to go sleep. Even though it's only 11. It's actually over. Maybe I just didn't get a good night's sleep or something. My base had been unlocked ever since yesterday. So if someone really wanted to, they could have come right in and taken it without much trouble. That would also be consistent with how Shogun had been able to put that hand in my room in the first place. Pajama Sam took too much brain power. It's true. It puzzled my brain. I had too much enrichment, and now I need to go to this. I need to sleep it off. Or maybe it was number 2. My memory of when I'd left my base to go to O-Front was unclear. The feeling that I had to save Nanami, seeing the severed hand, how terrified I was of Shogun, all those emotions swirled around me, invading each and every corner of my mind. I couldn't calm down at all. Tosu poop. Number 2. Maybe Wait. I just want to type it myself. Maybe I had just left my base and tossed a hand in a dumpster somewhere without knowing it. Or maybe a whole hand thing in general had just been a delusion and it didn't actually exist at all. When I went to check my email, I found that the one I'd gotten from Shogun yesterday did in fact exist, and in that email he had clearly stated that the hand was a present. Not to mention that Shogun himself had talked about it yesterday. I just couldn't believe that it'd been a delusion. This might actually be the worst email I've ever seen. It's a shame that it doesn't show up on my chat thing. I think it needs to be on there a couple more days for it to finally kick in. Yeah, lay off brappers. I like brappers, okay? He's growing a tail. Why does it exist? Because I think it looks funny. Okay, then what about the possibility that the police or the media took it? Those people looked at otaku freaks like we were no better than shit smeared on the bottom of their shoes. So it wouldn't surprise me. Oh my god, poop mention. After everything that happened yesterday, I was afraid to look at the internet. And yet, in the end, I couldn't help myself, so I clicked open my browser. Peppers. First, I checked the news section on Taobao, as well as the news sites I would typically go to. Oh my god, no, we have a news article about us. And sure enough, there were articles upon articles about the uproar yesterday at Scramble Crossing. Oh, I was supposed to read that? God damn it. We kind of missed a little bit. In response to the seismic activity intensity 5 earthquake that struck on noon on October 27, several news stations, including MHK, BTS, and TV Sunset, broadcasted breaking news reports. Today, TV and Fujisun TV, meanwhile, began broadcasting simultaneous coverage of both the earthquake and the Esper show starting at 9 p.m. Following this, the stations were immediately flooded with call after call protesting this decision. When faced with the disappointing end to the show, the nearly 5,000 fans that crowded in front of the Shibuya station all began to boo loudly for over an hour, with some fans even fighting amongst themselves. The situation resulted in 13 separate arrests. The commotion began with a prank email sent by a boy hereby referred to as N, living in Shibuya Ward. At first, news stations were skeptical of the email, which claimed the boy was a clairvoyant Esper who could see the culprit behind the new generation madness. The popular name for a series of brutal incidents taking place in Shibuya. However, when American psychic detective Yuri Brightman, age 43, informed Today TV and Fujisun TV that he would be willing to become the boy's legal guardian, both stations immediately took him at his word, or so the story goes. The ratings for both Today TV and Fujisun TV were extraordinary, with the highest simultaneous viewership exceeding 40%. These are astonishing figures, surpassing even that of Kohaku ringing in the new year. Although these figures may only be for the simultaneous broadcast with the earthquake report, the broadcast was obviously a huge success in terms of viewership. However, the boy starring in the show, N, did not turn out to be an Esper. He repeatedly riled up the audience by motioning like he was going to jump off the building, but his performance did not extend beyond that. Undeterred, the media companies dared to go up on the rooftop to report on the situation and attempt to get a comment about the new gen incidents, but they were unsuccessful. The boy was found collapsed on the roof holding a moe anime figure and a costume from a popular Hollywood film. According to otaku culture expert Professor Hashiba Yoshiro of Meisei University, there has been a rapid increase in the number of young people who dream of becoming heroes, but in the pursuit of this dream, act with no regard to the world around them. Under the influence of anime, video games, and other similarly damaging media, they have lost the ability to distinguish between fantasy and reality. This is likely what is causing them to act in such a way. They require psychological care. It's that damn anime and video games. Talk me clip farming. He's like, I'm gonna jump, whoa! I hadn't sent any emails to the media. I never even seen Yuri Brightman's show, let alone met him. So what the hell? Was this all just part of Shogun's plan, like I'd originally thought? What was the ultimate goal here? He said something about it being a quest or something. Okay, then what was the point of having the mass media televise me trying to get my hands on a sword? I didn't get it. What was Shogun trying to accomplish? He'd even released Nanami alive. I followed the links to various articles, but even after reading through all of them, not a single one of them mentioned Shogun. There had been practically no gap at all between when I'd tackled Shogun and when the media had come bursting onto the rooftop. Even if Shogun had managed to escape during that window, the media would have seen him. Not only that, but Shogun was supposed to be stuck in a wheelchair. He was supposed to be paralyzed, so there was absolutely no way he would have been able to escape the rooftop in such a limited time frame. I went on to check At's channel, and to no one's surprise, an enormous shitstorm was going on. My real name was being plastered everywhere. No, he's getting his hate mail. The uniform that Nishito dumbass was rocking is from Sume, isn't it? Are there any Sume students in this thread right now? This guy is a terminal. Beep. Do us all a favor and offer yourself, you piece of human trash, Lamau. Nishijo, you need to chill the fuck out. Fuck's sake, it'll be your fault if otaku start getting beat up again. They found him carrying a figure. LOL. It was a goddamn Sarah Bloodtoon figure. LMFAO. What the fuck? And just like that, otaku freaks around the world all shed a tear. This Nishijo fucker should have just stayed inside like the shut-in he is. TV's not for him. LOL. Sarah would be like, Nishijo, you big dum-dum. Time for me to kick your fat butt with my awakened form rocket body blow attack. Old some rando who was a classmate of his last year already came out and doxed the guy. LOL. And I'm not bullying him because they're gonna get bullied ripped. Yeah, he's putting in a bad rep for all otakus. Already back on Suicide Watch. He was so back after the Nanami thing. But it's kind of over, I think. I can't do this. Everyone was just saying whatever the hell they wanted to. They weren't even considering how I felt as they talked all this shit about me. Having At's channel as your enemy was a scary thing. And it was all Shogun's fault. I was in this mess. I was wondering if anyone had leaked any sensitive information onto At's channel. That stuff that wouldn't be aired on TV, but I couldn't find anything that fit that criteria. I hadn't been alone on that rooftop, and there had been one more person, and yet not a shred of information about him came out. It was almost like the being known as Shogun had never been there in the first place. Maybe the Shogun that appeared on the rooftop was just an illusion. Maybe even I know for a fact that he exists. Oh, maybe even if I know for a fact that he exists, there's a possibility that Shogun I saw at O-Front was just a delusion I created.
僕はやっぱり病気なのかも。
I think I'm losing my mind. I think so too. There were so many things happening that shouldn't have been possible in real life. It was more like a video game at this point. Like, there were two worlds, one where Nanami was alive and one where she was dead. And the two options were running parallel to one another, meaning I got to choose between them, just like a choice you'd find in an eroge. The future was divided into countless different branches, and what made me different from normal people was that I could simulate what story events might occur using my delusions, and I was in the middle of simulating the route that would lead to the bad ending. Like one where Nanami died, or one where Ayase jumped to her death, or where I fell off Ofront and died. In other words, for some reason, all these things that you'd normally find in a bad ending route could be coming after me, almost like they were hunting me down due to a trap I myself had set. Maybe I just had the desire to leave behind my boring, uneventful life and go to a more exciting world, like one from a game. And because of that, I've been unconsciously showing myself what that would look like. That couldn't be it. I didn't have any desires even remotely like that. Or at the very least, I would never want to make myself go through anything that make me feel sad or scared, simulation or not. Besides, the power of imagination can only take you so far. What I've been considering was nothing more than some childish bullshit delusion I'd come out with without thinking. Oh. I sighed, leaned back in my chair, and looked up at the ceiling with a blank stare on my face. Reality isn't set in stone. Anything and everything just felt fake. The world I was living in was completely hollow. Oh my god, woman in her 20s found dead in Shibuya River, Shibuya Ward. The woman died of asphyxiation after consuming the flesh of her own right hand and choking on a bone that lodged itself in her throat. Meh. I wonder whose hand that was. Guys, will you let me fall asleep? Hongshu. No weighing. Now, if we can find out about this, the next new gen thing next time. Yeah, I'm sleepy. If you must, yeah. I think I will. I'm happy I got a crumb of Chaos Head. Yeah, you should be glad. Always be thankful. Okay, let's go find something to read. I'm sorry, I'm sleepy, okay? A very unfortunate turn of events. At least we know that Nanami's alive, so true. Oh boy, you guys wanna... We have so many options tonight since it's not late yet. Who to rate? Good night, Mota. Thanks for streaming. Thank you. Thanks for watching my, whatever was going on during the stream. I think I'll probably cut this VOD with the next Chaos Head one. Because it's kind of short and I don't want to make an extra thumbnail. Lol. Let's raid Bari Bari. Sure, why not? Actually, or we can raid Monomone on Torn. Thinking. Yeah, let's go with Mari. Meow. Thank for stream. Yeah. Next stream will be the amazing cave crawlers with Soli and Nino and Pewies. I'll have to sort that out. Chuckles. But yeah. I really do gotta rest up for that. It's kind of crazy that I think on Friday Let me double check. On Friday, it's my little brother's birthday. So, we will have to go out early in the day for that. But I can't. There's no going back, guys. So, and it's a collab, so I can't just bail. So, but it's like it's early in the day. It's like at 1 that we're having a meal. So hopefully I can like sleep or something, or like I don't know, rot in bed until I have to. But yeah, cave crawler or little bro's birthday. I don't know. Hey, I'll spend the time with him earlier in the day if I'm awake. Alright, bye guys. Sorry for short stream, but whatever. See you guys on Friday. Bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.